Welcome everyone to episode 487 of AI Brief. I'm Amin, and here with me is Leah. We're doing a deep dive today into some really incredible developments. Like, we're talking about Google's massive $40 billion financial backing of Anthropic and its staggering $16 billion Oracle AI data center that is moving into construction over in Michigan.
It is a lot of physical concrete and capital to wrap your head around.
It really is. Plus, we're going to look at robots suddenly dominating elite human sports. Tesla encroaching on Waymo's territory, delivery bots aiding the visually impaired, and of course a quick rundown of today's top productivity tools.
I think the overarching theme you will notice today is how we are observing AI rapidly shifting. It is moving away from just being software on a screen into massive physical infrastructure and real-world robotics.
Well, let us jump right into today's new updates. Just looking at the staggering capital flowing into AI models right now it is honestly mind-blowing. Google is investing up to $40 billion into Anthropic.
That number is almost hard to process.
I know, and like $10 billion of that is committed right now. The remaining $30 billion is actually tied to specific performance targets.
And do not forget about Amazon's recent $25 billion pledge to that very same startup. Anthropic explicitly stated this deal supports a major expansion of their computing capacity.
Which makes total sense, because, think of this like an infrastructure arms race. People used to compare compute power to ammunition. But if you do not have the sheer billions in capital required to fuel the compute capacity, does having the best AI model even matter anymore?
I really do not think it does. You absolutely need the physical hardware to run these next-generation systems.
Speaking of physical hardware, let us shift to the physical buildings needed to house all this. A firm called Related Digital just secured financing for a massive $16 billion Oracle data center campus. And this is going up in Saline Township, Michigan.
The financial context behind that build-out is fascinating. The equity comes from Related Digital and Blackstone-linked funds, but the long-term debt is anchored by PIMCO-managed funds.
Right, PIMCO. Like the conservative mutual fund managers.
That is the major takeaway here. AI infrastructure is now pulling the massive financing that is usually reserved for heavy industrial projects, like petroleum refineries. It signals a totally new era for how these projects are funded.
Moving on to everything else in AI today. So, shifting our focus from physical data centers to physical AI agents, like robots operating in the real world. We saw Toyota's robot drain a half-court basketball shot recently. And a humanoid robot in China just set a new record for finishing a half marathon faster than any human.
Those physical achievements are arriving so quickly now.
Oh, absolutely. But the one that really caught my attention is Sony's Project Ace. This autonomous robot just defeated elite human table tennis players. It won 3 out of 5 matches and outscored the humans 16-8 on direct serves.
Ping pong is so fast, that is an incredible engineering feat. Seriously fast. And I have to push back a little on the whole AI beating humans narrative, because AI beating humans at video games is completely expected by now. But mastering the fast, totally unpredictable physics of a real-world sport, that signals an entirely new era for autonomous machines to me.
I completely agree. It represents a massive leap in real-world application, bridging the gap between digital calculation and physical movement in milliseconds.
And speaking of real-time physical movement, we should talk about Tesla's robotaxi rollout. They are officially launching their service in Houston and Dallas. But the catch is that it is constrained to tiny geofenced zones for now.
Which is a pretty significant constraint for a company aiming for universal autonomy.
For sure. This follows their pilots in Austin and San Francisco, and they have Phoenix, Miami, and 5 other cities planned. But Tesla's really creeping into Waymo's turf here. Waymo is already operating fully driverless vehicles in both of those Texas cities.
It is going to be a fascinating public test of their different technologies. Definitely. Tesla is racing to prove its full self-driving technology just to justify its enormous valuation.
And while those autonomous cars navigate city traffic, there is another fascinating autonomous development happening on the sidewalks.
I was actually just about to bring that up. Coco Robotics has these sidewalk delivery robots, and they are now acting as eyes for the blind. It is amazing. They feed real-time hazard data directly to Blind Square, which is the world's most widely used GPS app for the visually impaired.
That is such a practical and immediate use case. How does the alert system function?
Well, the users get a spoken alert in 26 different languages, and it warns them about 10 meters before they reach a physical obstacle.
There is a beautiful irony there. I mean, we are looking at infrastructure originally built to navigate robots, and it is proving to be even more useful for human beings navigating the world.
Let us pivot to how you can put AI to work right now with today's trending AI tools. What do we have on the list?
We have 6 tools today that are really gaining traction. First is ZeroHuman, which acts as your AI co-founder. It actually combines OpenClaw, Paperclip, and Spud. You essentially use it as a strategic sounding board for business planning or managing high-level operational tasks.
Oh, wow. So it kind of stress tests your ideas before you commit to them. What is the second one?
You nailed it. Next is Inrō AI, which functions as your AI agent specifically for Instagram marketing. The real-world use case here is automating complex engagement campaigns and handling your audience outreach on social media.
So it manages the tedious networking interactions. I like that.
Very much so. And to manage all these different agents, the third tool is Clawdi. It bills itself as the best home for all your AI agents. It is basically a centralized dashboard to wrangle and manage multiple AI assistants in one single place.
That is getting absolutely essential now that everyone has like 5 different AI tools running at once.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, we have Grok Voice Think Fast 1.0, which is now available via API. The practical use case is building incredibly responsive, low-latency conversational voice interfaces for customer apps.
So no more awkward robotic pauses when talking to a voice assistant. That is huge. What about the 5th tool?
Number 5 is Genspark for Excel. It is an AI assistant specifically built for formulas, charts, and insights. It instantly generates complex data visualizations and pivot tables, so you never really need to memorize syntax again.
That alone will save so many headaches at the office. And the final tool.
Finally, we have PromptPaste. It operates as a private AI prompt library natively on Mac, iPhone, and iPad. You use it to keep your most effective, finely tuned prompts synced and accessible across all your Apple devices.
Connecting those together, you could seamlessly use PromptPaste to store your best commands for Genspark. Like, you could automate your entire weekly reporting workflow with just those 2 tools in a matter of seconds.
It really democratizes those complex workflows.
We have covered so much ground today. We looked at everything from Google pouring $40 billion into Anthropic to a massive $16 billion data center in Michigan. We talked about latency dissolving in table tennis robots and Tesla fighting to prove their geofence software. But I want to leave you with a completely different thought to mull over. Think about how quickly the gap is closing between digital intelligence and physical execution. And considering what we discussed with Coco Robotics, if a sidewalk delivery robot, originally designed to carry takeout, acts as a dynamic guide dog and mistakenly steers a visually impaired person into a dangerous construction zone, who is liable? Does it fall on the robotics company, the GPS app, or the city? The physical consequences are becoming very real. Make sure to follow and share the podcast so you do not miss what comes next. See you in the next episode.
Thanks for joining us today. Take care, everyone.